What's up guys, IB45 Melvin Fung here, and today I'll be giving you a detailed breakdown as to how you should be planning and preparing for February, March, April, and May for the final IB exams to optimize your IB grade. So for some of you, you may still be working on the IAs from January to February, but you need to start preparing right now. This is because the IB is graded on the bell curve, making it player versus player. So to optimize your grade, your goal is to beat out the competition. Therefore, you want to start as early as possible to get as much of an advantage as possible. So January and February will be your preparation and semi-study phase. Firstly, you want to ensure that you have all your notes prepared by the end of February 15 because you don't want to waste any time in March and April doing research and making notes, when you should instead be fully focused on memorization. Then you want to plan out the entire month in detail, planning out on a monthly calendar what you need completed each day, such as an IA, mocks, notes completed, or content covered, because you need to be keeping track of tasks completed, tasks left, and not be wasting time. Secondly, if you have notes that you know will take a long time to memorize relative to the rest, you should start memorizing those notes right now. For me, that was my Econ Global Notes. It had over 40 pages and had the highest volume of content to memorize, so I started those in February. Then, you also need to start studying for math right now. You want to be doing a full review of each unit and content to ensure that you fully understand all the topics. You do this by doing all the main questions in the HASTE textbook in February. As for English and other essay writing subjects, you need to start practicing your essay writing skills right now by drilling past papers. You want to be doing as much as possible this month to ensure that you're capable of writing level 7 essays, and hence can consistently churn out level 7 essays. It is completely fine if your essays right now are only averaging 5s. It is completely realistic to churn out 7s in 2 months with the right methodology. The only way to improve your essay writing skills would be to constantly write essays, have a teacher or myself provide feedback on every single essay, and then calibrate off of that feedback and writing more essays. The process of gaining feedback and calibrating creates a feedback loop of improvement, where every time you receive feedback, you understand the mistakes you have made, how you can improve, and this carries on to your next essay. It is how I average 16 to 18 out of 20 on every single paper 1 essay. If you're interested in learning the level 7 essay writing skills for English, Econ, and Geo, check out IB45 Accelerator, where I've just helped 3 students get IB45 and 15 students go from 5s to 7s in English. If you want one-on-one tutoring where I provide you detailed feedback and guide you exactly how to write a level 7 essay, contact me on Instagram. It is a guaranteed way to score 7s, as I've just helped a student go from literally 1 out of 7 in English A all the way to a 7. Thirdly, if you know your upcoming classes aren't going to teach much, the content covered you already understand, or can self-study faster, you should just skip those classes to prepare for the final exam instead. This is because by February, your teachers most likely have all the content taught already and are just wasting time. So you end up wasting a lot of time sitting in classes and traversing to school. So if able to, skip them and prepare for the exam instead. Because again, the IB is player versus player. There are people out there who are studying non-stop like myself, who do not rest. Those people are going to pull up the curve. So your goal is to beat as many people as possible, and the more people you beat, the higher your score will be. Finally, you end off the month by creating a new daily and monthly schedule for March, where you plan out the deadlines and hours for memorizing certain notes, for doing math, and for writing essays. You want both of these schedules to be extremely detailed so you don't end up wasting any time. You also have to try and follow your schedules completely, never deviating from the plan. The reason this is so important during IB exam prep is because unlike your school assessments, where it's just 1 unit-based assessment per week, the IB exam is 6 full subjects, 6 to 8 unit per subject exam. With the sheer volume of content to memorize and practice for and the limited time you have, you cannot be wasting any time during this period. So even just thinking about what to study next is already a disadvantage. Without a schedule, it will take you much longer to study for the exam. Here's a daily schedule of what I study each hour, and here's the monthly schedule of what I need to complete each day. So the daily schedule tells me what subjects I need to do each hour, when I sleep, shower, and eat. This 30-minute base schedule ensures I don't go off task at all and sidetrack from what I'm supposed to do, helping me efficiently make use of every minute of my day. It also helps me visualize how much I need to study each subject per week to ensure that I actually study for all these subjects and have a good ratio of what I need to study every day. For example, more hours to subjects of repetition, such as math and content-heavy subjects, and less hours on subjects with lower priority. Moving on, the monthly schedule is my goal-setting schedule. It tells me what goals I need to complete each day of the month, such as completion of Unit 1 Geography and a third of macroeconomics in the first week, and then Unit 2 Geography and the second third of macro on the second week. This is to help me plan out all the topics to memorize day by day, so I'm actually able to memorize everything by the exams. For March, you want to be skipping school as much as possible. I skipped 75% of the month to prepare because it is literally not possible to not skip and be able to memorize all the content. Memorization is important because it is the only technique that guarantees full marks, as it is the only technique that guarantees you check all the keywords of the mark scheme. Therefore, by the end of the month, your goal should be to have at least 85% of content memorized. So you have to plan this out in your monthly schedule. Other than memorizing, you also need to drill essay writing for subjects with long answer questions twice a week, doing paper ones for English, and essay writing for your other language twice a week. Then for math, you need to be studying every single day from here on out. If you haven't completed content review for math, do that for one more week. And then the rest of the month, you need to start doing past papers, paper ones and paper twos every single night. For HO math, paper threes you can ignore for now. We will get back to this later on in this video. You want to be tracking your math papers by creating a spreadsheet of the difficult questions you encounter so you can revisit them directly before the exam to review them. So this is how you build your schedule. I recommend spending your entire morning memorizing content up until lunch, as memorization requires the least amount of brain power, so it saves you energy later on in the day. Then after lunch, doing essay writing practices so you're switching up the activity and using a different part of your brain before jumping back to memorization. You want to be doing past papers for English, for your other essay writing subjects like econ or your secondary language for 2 hours total, then back to memorizing content. Then afterwards, take a shower to relax your mind and then memorize more content until dinner. After dinner, you do math until your bedtime. The reason I leave math for last is because it is the most mentally draining task that requires the most critical thinking. Hence, doing that in the morning will mess up your efficiency later in the day. Then on Sundays, you recite all the content you memorized from day one. So if it's March, you recite all the content all the way back from February all the way to March, so you don't forget anything. I specifically designed my schedule this way, keeping everything as consistent and constant as possible, so my brain gets used to each activity during set times. Near the end of March, you not only want to create your monthly and daily schedule for April, but also create a monthly schedule for May, in which you just highlight the days with exams so you can better visualize which days actually have exams. In April, you want to completely memorize all your content, but the main focus here is past papers for every subject. So let's say you spend the first week completely memorizing all the content. Second week onwards, you spend your mornings reciting content. Then in the afternoon, you do past papers. And then at night, papers for math. Your focus for April would be to do as many past papers as possible. This is because it is the best way to familiarize yourself with the structure, timing, and question types, allowing yourself to naturalize the skills required for the exam, optimizing your chances of achieving a 45. Now, for those of you who are doing Math HL, you may be wondering, Melvin, when should I start practicing for the paper 3? Here's the answer. You practice for the paper 3 near the end of April, and you only need to do 2 or 3 past papers. This is because paper 3s are just pattern recognition. Moreover, as every single paper 3 is completely different with 0 similarities, there is no way to specifically train for the paper 3. So just by training for the paper 1 and paper 2, you naturally have trained for the content that will be tested on the paper 3. It is a complete waste of time to practice a high volume of paper 3s, as every single one will be different. As for the English paper 2, you prepare for it near the end of April. Now, a lot of your teachers may be telling you to prepare for it in a misleading way, in which they tell you to do a lot of past papers or to read, annotate, and review the books as much as possible. But no, that is a waste of time. You don't want to be wasting your time reading books for English, okay? There's a specific method I teach my students where I guide them exactly how to write a generic essay that fits all the IB prompts, so that they simply just have to memorize the essay and get 7s. So if you're interested in getting 7s for your English paper 2, make sure to check out IB45 Accelerator or contact me on Instagram for one-on-one tutoring. Near the end of April, you want to be filling your May calendar. That is how you'll be reviewing before each exam and how you'll wisely use each day of the break. Because for some of you, there'll be days in between your exams. These are the most important days in which you can easily forget all the content you memorized from the past 3 months. So you want to be reviewing content, reciting content, and reviewing past papers. Also, it's very important that after each exam, you want to be reviewing right away for your next exam. So if Monday you finish your exam and Tuesday you have another exam, you want to be reviewing for Tuesday on Monday and not resting at all. You do not want to be making excuses because this is the most important month of the IB. Then, before your math exam, make sure to also review the spreadsheet of questions that you found difficult when practicing with past papers. Anyways, guys, that's the end of today's video. I wish you all the best of luck for your IB exams. Make sure to like the video, subscribe, and turn on notifications because I'll be posting many more videos that's not just IB related, that's not just study related, but life related. Yeah, stay tuned. See you guys in the next video.